everybody, this is Anthony, and we got Dom over here. And so this is another Pleb to Pro on how not to look like a turd. So basically, like whenever we go to MSW events or any event or backpacking or life in general, it's very important to have your equipment put on and adjusted correctly. And as you can see right here, this is a very typical representation of a NATO player at MSW. Just is what it is, guys. Sometimes you're all potato. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you have your ruck put together. Now, at MSW, you're allowed to run civilian rucks, which Dom here has a really nice Deuteronomus, I don't know, whatever. It's German. Deuter. Nice backpack. Nice backpacking backpack. Super comfortable. You're allowed to run these. You're also allowed to run civilian backpacks at MSW. You're allowed to have bright colored ones because, you know, if you like to get shot and you're too cheap to buy a military backpack, like you can, or a subdued one like this one, you can run those if you want and then get shot. So what we do is we notice, first of all, once again, Dom, typical Dom, he couldn't wear his plate carrier right. He was all ate up with his chest rigs, and now look at him. He's just a giant sad sack. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix him. First thing we need to realize about backpacks in general, there's 3 components that fit a backpack to your person. Then there's a 4th component that adjusts the weight of the backpack on your body. So we have your shoulder straps, your sternum strap, and your hip buckle. That's what it actually connects you to the unit. And then at the top, on a lot of high-end backpacks, we have what's called load lifters. What these do is they adjust where the weight sits on your torso. And as you can see, Dom, being the typical Dom that Dom is, he's not all put together. So, first thing you're going to realize is that when you get a backpack, you need to make sure that the hip belt fits you. Now, you can, if you buy it used, you might have to kind of buy a second-hand hip belt from the company, or you might need to buy aftermarket or something, but you have to make sure the hip belt fits you, because if it doesn't fit you, you're going to be real sad, and we don't want that, do we? We don't want sadness. So, you're going to make sure your hip belt fits. Next thing you're going to realize is that you have to realize how big your actual torso is. 90% of backpacks come in either what's considered a size medium, which fits just about everybody, or like kind of like in a medium to large, like that they fit in that gray area. But typically there are 4 sizes of backpacks: extra small, small, medium, and large. For some reason, there's a human being that needs an extra large backpack. The dude is probably the size of a moose, so he probably is hauling his shit in a sled and not actually carrying it on his back. So, now, we've realized that Dom has a medium backpack, like 90% of human beings that own backpacking backpacks. This is a medium backpack. Now, first thing he's going to need to do, and the first thing that you always adjust first, is your hip belt. Now, why is that? Your hips actually distribute load a lot better on your torso than your shoulders do. So you're always going to adjust your hip belt first to make sure that the load is sitting exactly where it's supposed to. So, on your hips, what you're going to do is you're going to feel, oh, there's Dom's hips right there. You're going to put this pad pretty much right on them like that. You're going to be like hip hugger jeans, you know, your mom was wearing when she met your dad and you were conceived. So, like, that's what you're going to do. You're going to put this right on your hips, and you're going to tighten it down. So, what you're going to do is you're going to bend down with the backpack loaded on your torso, and then you're going to put the backpack where it's supposed to do. Now, here's the thing. You should have a buddy help you as well, once again. And then you're going to cinch it down. Well, cinch it down, Dom. Don't act like you're scared. Okay. Now, is that on your hips?
Yeah.
Is that too tight?
No.
Is it cutting off circulation?
Nope.
Is it sitting too low?
Nope.
Okay. Now, second step. What we're going to do is we're going to do the shoulder straps. Now, your shoulder straps, what you're going to want is you're going to want them to be snug but not super tight. So, while Dom's still leaning forward, he's going to pull the shoulder straps tight. Okay. Okay, now he's going to lean back. So already now, Dom looks suitably less ate up. And his backpack is sitting on his torso in the right position. Now, Dom, how is the load being distributed on your body? Is it up high or is it down low?
It's about 50% each way.
50% each way. So if we want to adjust where the load is being distributed on his torso, what we do next is we go to these load lifter straps. Now, the load lifter straps, what they do is they lift the load by adjusting the way the pack sits on his body. So if you tighten these all the way down, it puts more weight on Dom's, oops, wrong strap. It puts more weight on Dom's shoulders. So now it feels like all the weight's up here, doesn't it?
Yep.
Super tight. That's not good, because if all the weight's up here, you're going to get fatigued, and you're going to be tired, and it's going to hurt a lot. So what you're going to do is you're going to, let me turn a little bit. There you go. So what you're going to do is you're going to back these off just a little bit so that there's a little bit of play. Like that, and you have a little bit of a gap. Now where does the load sit?
On my hips.
Now it's sitting on your hips. All right. Then, if you have your load lifter straps adjusted correctly, you can even back out your shoulder straps a tiny bit. Probably, I usually go about 2 fingers, sometimes a little more, a little less, depending on the backpack. Now, if you look, the backpack is gaped off of his back a little bit, and now where's all the load? It's all on your hips, right?
Hips.
So then this is where you would take these straps and you adjust them to where it's comfortable, and the weight is balanced the way you like it. Me, I like it not quite as much on my hips, but mostly. And there you go. Last but not least, you have your sternum strap. Now, people act like the sternum strap is super important, but really, if the backpack is adjusted correctly, it's not. So this isn't falling off of you, right?
Nope.
That didn't affect any of the weight distribution of the pack at all?
Nope.
Nope. But the sternum strap, I like to think of as kind of a safety strap. So if you fall or do anything like that, the pack won't shift off of the side of your body and then make it hard for you to stand up. Sternum strap basically just kind of locks everything in place so that it doesn't move. So, now, just some general backpacking tips. Alright, so, as you can see, Dom has a nice pack. And he's already packed this, and I'm not going to rip his crap apart and throw it all over the floor. As hilarious as that would be, I'm not going to do it. General backpacking tips. You're going to want all of your heaviest stuff, as well as stuff that you're going to not want to get into very often, down near your hips, because your hips can carry the weight a lot better than your shoulders, right? We just went over that. So, you're going to want to put all the heavy stuff down here towards the bottom. So, the heaviest singular item that Dom has in your ruck is what? Your sleeping system?
Sleeping system.
Sleeping system's in the bottom. Boom. Sleeping system. Then he's got his whoopee also in there. And then he's also got his tarp. Last but not least, he'll probably, through these straps, put his bedroll. His bedroll's super light, not as critical to be down low. Then he's going to have all of his clothing and all those items up above. Now, side project, I can go ahead and get in here. Dom's backpack is very well made. There's lots of fun things to undo. Let's go ahead and grab this guy. So, you could do one of two things. You could either go out and buy a pack cover or anything like that, or you could do what Dom has done, and you could get some nice heavy-duty Ziploc freezer bags and waterproof all of your stuff. It is so imperative to waterproof all of your stuff. Dom has a garbage bag that surrounds his sleep system to make sure his sleep system doesn't get wet, and then Dom has plastic bags that protect all of his clothing and important items in his bag so that when it gets caught out in the rain, and he's soaked, and then he's like, man, I'm really sad and soaked. I wish I had some dry socks to put on. And then he goes into his backpack and finds all of his socks wet. Not today, because he remembered to put all of his crap in a waterproof container. So for different people, it's different things. A lot of people like to use garbage bags, Ziploc bags. You could do what I do. I use compression sacks that are dry sacks. Those are very nice. Kind of pricey, but they do save you from wasting money and making trash, because you will ruin these bags by using these for backpacking. Like you will. You'll rip holes in them, then you'll have to throw them away, and that creates waste. But I like to use actual stuff sacks that are waterproof, because then I don't have to create trash, which I find is important, because I'm like an environmentalist hippie type. So, you know. So, another thing that Dom has going on for him, which is pretty clever, he's learned a lot of lessons from going to Milsim West events, is that up here, in an easy-to-get-to pocket, he has all of his rain gear. So that way, if he needs to put rain gear on and not be miserable, it's in one of the outermost pockets, and it's easy for him to get to. Isn't that right, Dom?
Yep.
All right, so turn around. So this is your second Milsim West event, right? You're getting ready to do?
Yep.
All right, so what kind of lessons did you take away from the type of pack that you had in the first one?
Make sure you buy something that has good hip supports. The pack I had was more of a 3-day pack, and it didn't have nice supports all around it, so I was sore. Like, even in the beginning of the film, beginning of this video, the first 5 minutes I was standing there without anything
When I undid
adjusted,
all the straps.
I was already super sore and I didn't even walk anywhere. So right now I feel good. Like I don't feel like I have any weight on me because I have a good backpack. So it's definitely imperative you buy a good backpack or buy something that fits you correctly.
Exactly. Super imperative. And then how you had everything in the pack. What lessons did you learn from that?
Well, seeing how I have more room now, and then I just repacked it and just kind of compressed everything down. I have a better compression sack for my sleep system. Just basically compressing everything and then taking out, like you'll learn what stuff you need to keep and what stuff you just need to get rid of. And that's what I learned from the first one basically is what I just didn't need.
Yeah, not to overpack, right?
Yeah, and I made all my gear simple to get to, so if I need to throw something off, I can throw something on or like on and off.
And then the way your chest rig that you ended up getting works with all of this is that the strap's nice and thin, so you can wear your chest rig and then throw the backpack on over top, and then you never have to take your chest rig off, right?
Correct.
And you're going to run your AEG, so you don't have to worry about tanks or anything like that.
Yep.
But you have a small assault bag that you wear after you get your big bag off, in case you need water and stuff like that. But you're pretty much standalone, right?
Yeah, I run the Adapt pack, and I just hang it over the sleeping system on the top, or the sleeping mat on the top, and then that way if I need to get to it, I can just rip it off and then take it.
Yep.
I can drop this.
There you go. All right, so lessons learned, guys. So this has been a Pleb Pro on how to make sure your backpack isn't all laid up. Now Dom is super ready to go do BB Warzing for 40 hours plus. Maybe next time when we go to part 2 of my gear video or whatever we decide to do, I'll show you guys like food and stuff like that, and maybe what she should take for that. But otherwise, this has been Anthony.
Dom.
Thanks for stopping by. If you got any questions, suggestions, or anything, drop them down below in the doobly-doo down there. Down that way, around my crotch region, past that maybe. But anyways, thanks for stopping by. Catch you guys later.
See you guys.